Hi friends, welcome back to Chicken Run Creations. We are working on our little raccoon here that we started, and today we're going to work on the body. So I have his head here. I wanted to show you, I thought I would try. I had mentioned in the last video, instead of making a cylinder to start with, about doing a ball and then flattening the bottom and like the face part here a little bit. And so I thought I would try that, and this is a little bit smaller, but I did do that. I started with a ball and I flattened the bottom, flattened the side here, and it worked pretty well. So you have your choice. You could do like I did in the first video and do the cylinder, or you can make a ball and flatten two sides of it and then build it up from there. And both of them worked well. This one actually probably went faster. So, you know, take your choice. I didn't quite get this done yet, but so yeah, you have a couple options there. Hold on one second. I need to get my drawing here. Sorry about that. I'm gonna get my little drawing. I scanned it in so I could add it to the first video. So today we're gonna work on the body. So pretty easy. We're gonna just start with some core wool, and we're going to make a cylinder. This probably won't be enough, but we're going to start with it anyway, and we can add it. I'm just kind of tucking the sides in a little bit as I go here. Definitely won't be enough. And let me just take my 38 gauge needle and just kind of give it a rough stab here. I just want to make sure that I have the length that I want. Just tucking in the ends. You can probably leave one of them fluffy to attach. I'm just gonna see here if this is the right. It's a little long, but that's okay. To attach it to the head. So let's see here. Might be a little too long. We're just gonna. Right now I'm just doing a cylinder. I'm not doing anything fancy. And I can hear it starting to thunder. So hopefully I will be able to continue this. It won't get too noisy. So I'm going to make one end quite flat by stabbing it in pretty good here. So he can stand. Obviously the legs, the tail will help it as well, just depending on if you want to do the little feet or if you want to do all the legs. I might no, I don't know. I'm still undecided if I want to do feet or legs. I might do legs. Anyway, I'm just kind of flattening this out. I'm going to get my 38 clover tool needles. They're not going in super good. You could also roll this on a chopstick to make it a little bit tighter. I just didn't think of that at the time, so I'm just gonna add some more here. Gonna want to get this felted down pretty good, so I will probably end up sticking this on, speed it up so you don't have to watch the whole thing, because this will take a little bit of a little bit of work here to get this felted down all the way. I mean, fairly. Don't want to be too tight because you still have to add your color and your arms and legs and tail to it. But let's see here. How's it look into this? Not bad. Definitely need to go a little bit thicker. Okay, so I can keep my proportions. I'm going to check something here. So on my drawing, so my raccoon's head is, oh, let's get a ruler here. Okay, so my raccoon head is just shy of 2 inches, and my body is actually the same. So let's see how big he is. Yeah, he's just about 2 inches. So I want to make his body about 2 inches. So you can see I'm about an inch too big here. So I'm going to pull some of this off. It's okay to be somewhat over because we want to attach it, but it's quite a bit here. I can cut that too. Let's see. That's not too bad. I'll just cut this section out here. Don't throw that away. Stick it in a jar because you can use it for another project. Let's see. I should have done this when I did my other one. I just happened to think of it to make it look. Let me see how this one is. I think the body is too long on this one. Well, it's 2 inches. Just a little bit longer than 2 inches. So, all right. So I'm gonna speed this up and get this felted down. And when I am done, I will jump back on. Okay, probably a good 5 minutes of stabbing there. Let's see where we are with our height. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, so now I'm going to, so obviously our raccoon looks a little skinny at the moment, but that's okay because we're gonna build it up as we add our color, because you know when we add our legs, we're gonna build it up and his arms and stuff, so he'll get a little more chunky as we get going. But what we're gonna do first is, let me find my, oh, what color was I using? I was using this for my body. Yep. All right, we got the fog color from Cupid Falls Farms. So I'm just going to give him a coating of our color here. I won't need all this. Well, maybe I will. Let's see. I'm just going to build them up a little bit more too. Let's do his bottom first. I got this little piece here. So I'm just going to place that across the bottom and stab it in. I won't stab it in all the way, just enough to kind of hold it in place. I might need to add a little bit more to it. Hopefully it won't get too noisy and I'll have to stop. I can hear the thunder getting a little closer, so I might have to pause this if it gets a little too noisy. I want to make sure I don't have this too long. And I'm just going to roll that right up just like that and get it held into place. All right, let's try that again. The power went off briefly, not for very long, just a couple minutes. We'll see if it stays on long enough for me to keep going here. That was rather random because so I looked at the radar and the storm is to the south a mile or two, so it's kind of interesting that it went off like that. But we'll try again. So I'm just stabbing in the gray here. Pretty good. Got a nice little stripe across there. It'll probably get covered up with something along the line, so. Okay. Just get the bottom here a little bit. Okay. Let's see. I'm not too worried about this here because we can cover all that up when we actually attach it. to the head. I think I'm going to kind of try and make this appear a little bit narrower for his neck. Alright, I'm just going to pull some of this extra off. Pull the fluffy bits out a little bit. And let's attach them to the head here. Don't worry about the white showing because we can cover that up. So let's see, which way do I want to put this on here? Don't think it matters too much. A little piece of something in there. All right, so now let's see if we can do this here. I want them kind of centered on the head. So I'm just going to take my needle and kind of tack them in here. Make sure that it's centered. Okay. Looks pretty good. Probably, you know what I noticed when I was filming the, or when I was editing the last video, I think this was supposed to be the front and this was supposed to be the back. I happened to notice that as I was editing. I was like, oops, I need to mark my fronts and backs, I think, with a pin or something. So I may have to build up the back of his head just a little bit to make it not look so flat. Alright, so I'm just using my 38 needle and stabbing the head in here really good. Right now I'm just kind of getting all the fluffy bits of wool tacked down. And if you make your body a little too big, you can kind of squish it down a little bit and just kind of tack. By doing this, you can kind of get it a little bit smaller, but I think, yep, we're just at 2 inches, so that's good. All right, so I'm just going to get this good and secure here. And we'll get all that covered with gray here. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, so let's, that little piece here is gonna bug me. And get it out, there we go. Okay, let's make some hands and some legs here. So we got our head and our body done. Oh, look at that. It fits almost perfectly on there. Okay, so we're going to make some arms and some legs, and I'm going to do that right with my color. You could use core and then cover it, but they're not too thick, so I think using the color is okay. Try to decide here how I want to do this. All right, so we're going to start with his arms. I just have two pieces here that are about the same. And I'm just going to take it and roll this up tightly. I want to go this way, or do I want to go the other way? Let's see. Let's go this way. Just kind of tightly roll it. This might be too long. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold the ends in a little bit here. This one's a little bit thicker. All right. Let's roll it up. I think I got it too thin in the middle there. Let's just get a little bit to put down the middle. All right. Now I'm gonna stab it. I can leave the one end undone to attach. I'm just going to stab it enough to kind of hold it together, and then I'm going to roll the other one up just so I can get them both about the same. So let's roll this one. Remember when you're doing a cylinder that you want to keep turning it because you don't want it to get flat. Alright, and then just want to tuck in the end of his hands here. A little bit more in the middle there, that one too. You want to felt these quite firmly. Before I get too firm, I'm gonna take a little bit of, what is this? My tornado color. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the ends of his hands. So just pulling off a little bit here. And I'm just gonna wrap just the very tip of his hands because I can, no real reason. Let's go with the spiral. All right. Just give them a quick roll in my hands here. Okay. Tuck in the ends here just a little bit more. Okay. Just gonna pull the extra off of this one so they're about the same size. All right. Now let's get our, let's make the legs first and then we'll attach them. So we'll get those out of the way. Let's see here. Let's get a new piece. All right, do the legs. The legs are the same length, only thicker. So, you know what? Let's do the top thing. Let's try this. Sometimes I can get a pretty tight roll doing it this way, sometimes not so much. That's not bad. Definitely gonna have to add more to it. Let's just get it started here. Gonna make this the end. This foot. And let's roll this one. Which way did I go? This way. Okay, I think we're done with the legs. Not sure what happened to that storm. It never really came, and it's now more humid than it was before. All right, legs, arms. Let's see here. Oh, it's a little skinny. I mean, this I drew around the ones that I made before, so they're going to be a little bit thinner than what's on the actual picture, and these are definitely too long, so we'll definitely have to pull some of those off. Okay, let's start. I started with the arms last time, but I think I'm going to start with the legs this time. So first I'm going to get rid of some of this extra fluff here. Let's see how that is. So I'm just kind of figuring out how far out I want his legs to come. Let's see. It's a little bit farther. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab a needle here and just, sorry, got off screen there. Just try and tack it in a little bit here to hold it. Grab a pin. Let's see, I want them to be the same. I get a pin in here to kind of hold it in place. Okay, I think that's, maybe he needs to come back a little bit more. My leg's a little bit bigger. All right, now this can be a little complicated. Let's see if we can pull a bit more off of this one. All right, so I'm just gonna bring these legs right around the back side here and poke them in. Watch out for the pins. If you're using pins to hold them in place. Just enough to get it, whoops, held on. All right, then I'm going to come right along the side here, because you can felt that right down in so it'll hold. So we're going to build up his thigh here a little bit anyway, so go ahead and stab that right in. You want it to curve just a little bit around the front, so it's not like sticking straight out, so it's off to the side a little bit. All right, I'll do the same on this side before it gets away from me. I'm stabbing it right down in there. Okay. I'm going to just bring this down a little bit here. I think this one's a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can. Let me just see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Where's my other finger guard here? Okay. It's like just still looks a little too big. See if I can, or sticking out too far. See if I kind of, that's better. Just kind of push it back a little bit here. Sometimes you just got to manipulate it with your hands a little bit. Okay. All right. Now we're going to build up his haunches here a little bit. Get some more. So I'm going to take a piece here. Let me pre-felt it a little bit. Another piece of the same size. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of build up his back thigh here. So I'm just going to kind of fold this up a little bit. And I'm going to put it right over. I want to be on this, make sure I'm on this side. And I kind of want it kind of to be rounded. So I'm just going to kind of round it out here a little bit. We can add more to it. I'm just, because I got a lot here, I'm just going to kind of push it up a little bit so I can make use of that extra. I might need to go up a little bit higher. Alright, if I get too far on that, I want to do the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing. maybe, if I can remember what I did. There you go. Go this side. And do the same thing. Make sure I'm on the side. I'm gonna round it. I'm gonna go too far back. Gotta make sure that they're the same. I'm just kind of comparing the two sides here to make sure that they're about the same. My mat isn't moving here. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm just gonna get this pelted down here and then decide if I want to add more to it or not. Get the finer needle. Okay. Looks pretty good. So I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm going to have to order some more of this. Actually, let me take some of these pieces here that I pulled off. Just going to take a little bit and kind of smooth over. See, I have this line here. Just going to take a little piece and kind of smooth it over. And I'm going to just kind of define this. So I'm just dabbing right around it. I'll do the same on the other side. This may end up being a three-parter. I'm not sure if we'll get this done. I'll have to stop here and see how far we are into this video. Okay. There. Pretty good. All right, let's need to give them some butt cheeks here. It's kind of got a flat back side. So I'm just basically gonna kind of do the same thing that I did on the sides. That might not be big enough. Let's see here. Yeah, I might have to do a couple pieces. So I'm just kind of, well, you can't see on that one because his tail's in the way. I'm just gonna build up his backside a little bit here. I mean, the tail is gonna cover this anyway, but just to give his bottom end a little bigger. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little piece here. Just smooth over that. Okie dokie. A little bit of a butt there. Now, I think I'm going to put the white on his belly first. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just going to take a little bit of the white that we used up here. And we're going to... Did it after I put the arms on last time, but it makes it harder to get in here and do it. So I'm just taking, let's felt it a little bit. Now you could, if you wanted to make it fluffy, you could take your, I'll just show you with this piece. You could take your piece and stick it on here like this, needle felt it underneath his chin, fold this over, and then kind of brush it out and just leave it fluffy. But I'm gonna felt mine right in. So I'm gonna put this right up here. Figure out how far I want it to come over. Looks like he's got a beard. I think I'm gonna just bring it down from the white edges of his mouth and just bring it straight down. Okay, I probably felt that in a little bit more, but that'll work. If you have, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it really well, the needle holes here. And I'm using my 40 spiral. But what you can do is if you kind of take your hand and kind of rub over it, you can kind of get rid of those. It also just means that you need to felt it more. The more you felt it, the firmer it will become, and those little needle holes will disappear. But for time's sake, I'm gonna stop there. All right, let's see if we can get his arms on here. So I don't want his arms to be too long, but I want them long enough so it can hold our little heart. So just a little bit shorter than our legs. So I'm just going to pull a little bit off of here. And I'm going to put it a little bit, not right at his neckline, but just under his neckline. And I just stick a pin in there. And this one's a little bit longer. Let's see. Stick a pin in here. See where we're at. So close enough that we can hold our heart. That looks pretty good. Maybe I can move this one up just a little bit more. That looks good. All right, so now I'm just gonna stab it in a little bit, not totally, just enough so I can take the pin out and see how it looks. That side. That side. This one needs to come down a little bit. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna trim these in a little bit more, not again totally yet, just enough to kind of hold them better so I can compare them. Let's see. So it needs to come down just a little bit. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the feet. I'm going to go ahead and stab them right in. Not going to, I kind of want to leave like enough of a kind of like a shoulder here. So I'm going to kind of round out the back of his arm and then stab this part in pretty good. Let's see. To curve in just a little bit, so I'm gonna tack it in a little bit more around the edges here. That looks good. Now I'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna felt this down pretty good and kind of leave a shoulder here. I feel like this arm's forward more than that one. Maybe not. A little bit bigger, I think. Okay. There. Looks pretty good. Oops. Alright. So now we just need to cover the back of his head here. See if I get any other pieces here that I can use up. So I'm gonna do gray around here.